Rohit. We will start with the basics. Let's first define what an organism is. An organism is any living thing that can carry out life processes such as growth, reproduction, and response to stimuli. Are you following so far?
Yes, ma'am. So, every living thing around us is an organism?
Exactly. Now, let's categorize these organisms based on their cell structure. We divide them into two main groups, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Let's look at the chart here. Prokaryotes are single-celled and simpler. Absolutely correct. Prokaryotes, like bacteria, fall under the kingdom Monera. They don't have a well-defined nucleus. And eukaryotes? Eukaryotes are more complex. They can be unicellular, like amoeba from the kingdom Protista, or multicellular, like plants and animals. Eukaryotes have a well-defined nucleus.
I understand. And how do we further classify eukaryotes?
Good question. Eukaryotes are divided based on the presence or absence of a cell wall. For example, with a cell wall, fungi do not perform photosynthesis and lack chlorophyll. Examples include yeast and mushrooms. Plantae can perform photosynthesis due to chlorophyll. Examples include trees and shrubs. Without a cell wall, Animalia, which includes all animals, lack cell walls and depend on other organisms for food. How does this relate to biodiversity? Great observation, Rohit. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life forms on Earth. It includes all these groups of organisms, unicellular and multicellular, plants, animals, and microorganisms. Understanding classification helps us appreciate their differences and similarities, which is essential for any ET.
So, biodiversity is like organizing and studying life to understand how everything is connected?
Exactly, Rohit. Biodiversity also helps in ecological balance and survival. In our next session, we'll discuss the importance of biodiversity conservation. We'll explore the Venn diagram comparing prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Have you seen this diagram before? Let's look at the Venn diagram. It has three sections, one for prokaryotes, one for eukaryotes, and the overlapping section for similarities. Let's start with prokaryotes. Can you tell me anything you know about them?
I know prokaryotes are simpler organisms, but I don't know much beyond that.
That's correct. Prokaryotes, like bacteria and archaea, have a simple structure. They don't have a prominent nucleus, instead, their genetic material floats freely in the cytoplasm. They also have a cell wall made of peptidoglycan, are small in size, and lack membrane-bound organelles. Now let's switch to eukaryotes. These are more complex. Their cells have a prominent nucleus enclosed in a membrane, and they contain specialized organelles like mitochondria, chloroplasts, and the Golgi apparatus. Their cell walls, when present, are made of chitin or cellulose instead of peptidoglycan. They can be unicellular, like protists, or multicellular, like humans, plants, and fungi.
So the main difference is complexity, and eukaryotes have all these organelles that prokaryotes lack. What about their size?
Good observation. Eukaryotes are generally larger in size compared to prokaryotes. Now, let's move to the similarities in the middle section of the Venn diagram. Can you guess anything both prokaryotes and eukaryotes might share? They both have DNA. Both types of cells contain DNA, which is essential for storing genetic information. Additionally, both have a cell membrane to regulate what enters and exits the cell, ribosomes for protein synthesis, and cytoplasm where cellular activities occur. Does this help clarify things?
So, they share these basic components, but eukaryotes are much more advanced. That makes sense now.
Always remember, the differences in cell structure between prokaryotes and eukaryotes play a big role in their functions and the organisms they form. This knowledge is crucial for understanding the diversity of life. Do you feel more confident about this now? Let's discuss about importance of biodiversity. Imagine a forest full of plants, animals, and microorganisms. Each one plays a role in keeping the ecosystem balanced. That's the first reason biodiversity is important. It ensures ecosystem stability. If one species is lost, it can disrupt the entire system.
So biodiversity is like teamwork in an ecosystem?
Correct. Now, let's talk about products. Biodiversity gives us useful materials like gums, resins, dyes, paper, and fibers. For example, rubber from trees is crucial for making tires, and cotton fibers are essential for clothing. Let's discuss medicines. Many life-saving drugs come from plants. For instance, quinine, used to treat malaria, comes from the cinchona tree, and Taxol, a cancer drug, is derived from the Taxus tree.
Wow! I didn't realize plants could be so important for medicine.
They are, Shyam. Lastly, biodiversity has scientific value. Many animal species are used in biological and medical research to study diseases, test medicines, and understand life processes.